Thank you,
It's
sir.
a race to the polls as voters cast ballots in several key states today. Now, think about this, because it's big. Battleground states like Georgia and Pennsylvania, they could signal the way that the political winds blow regarding President Trump's policies. Let's look at Kentucky. Two states and two candidates compete for a top spot to become Kentucky's next U.S. Senator. Current Congressman Andy Barr and former Attorney General Daniel Cameron. They're fighting to replace retiring Senator Mitch McConnell. So another race is also heating up in that state, and you've heard a lot about this one. It's a face-off between GOP Representative Thomas Massie, who's trying to hold on to his seat, against Trump-backed challenger Ed Gallrein. So let's go live to Kentucky and CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro. Aaron, the president is very focused on getting Massie ousted. Can you walk us through his discontent with that Republican congressman?
Reed, it stems back from President Trump's first term, where you saw Massie vote against these big omnibus continuing resolution bills that had a lot of different topics in it that included funding for the president's border wall or more funding for ICE and Border Patrol agents at that time. Massie has voiced objection with some provisions he wanted regarding agriculture not being part of those bills. And generally, Massie has also been against foreign spending to any country that is not the United States. That has continued in President Trump's second term, especially when it comes to Massie's push for the release of the Epstein files, as well as Massie's vote against the president's landmark bill so far in the second term, what he calls the One Big Beautiful Bill, that tax and budget bill that House Republicans passed narrowly last summer. But while Massie is the latest test of the president's political clout, it is not the last. And we got an update in one other big race the president is wading into, and that is the Republican runoff for Senate in Texas. He endorsed a challenger to the incumbent John Cornyn. The president, in a post just this afternoon, endorsed Attorney General Ken Paxton. He made the argument that Paxton was there for him when Cornyn was not. He backed some of what President Trump wants to see Congress pass when it comes to eliminating the filibuster or the Save America bill. That's that sweeping elections bill that would require citizenship in order to vote. But this is a very notable 11th hour endorsement from President Trump just days before that runoff election in Texas.
Well, going back to Kentucky, though, because Massie seems to be the one dominating the major headlines today. You know, Kentucky is a state that oftentimes is not known as a rubber stamp to President Trump's policies, even though some of the voters tend to skew conservative. So Mr. Massie believes this might be one of his most competitive primaries. What drives that?
Yeah, that's right. When you look at Senator Mitch McConnell Rand Paul, there is definitely an independent streak when it comes to some of the Republicans in Kentucky's congressional delegation, and Massie is part of that. He was elected to serve this Northern Kentucky district in 2012, and he really credits not only President Trump's endorsement of his challenger, Ed Gallrein, but the tens of millions of dollars of outside spending. Over $33 million has been spent in that Kentucky fourth race alone, one of the highest for a Republican primary for a House seat, and $19 million of that is spent against Massie or in support of his challenger, Ed Gallrein. We talked to some supporters of Massie yesterday, though, who do credit his independent streak as a reason why they are continuing to back him. Take a listen to what voters told us yesterday.
I believe he's voting in the right way. He's supporting the victims of the Epstein scandal, standing up for the victims, which I believe is the right thing to do. The Iran war still hasn't been explained as far as why Iran was invaded by the United States. He has opposed foreign interventions. He opposed the Iran war. President Trump said when he was campaigning that he was against foreign interventions, and yet when he became president, he's been getting involved in foreign interventions. So he seems to have reversed course on what he said he was going to do. But Congressman Massie has been a person who sticks by his principles and does what he thinks is right.
How do you feel about his chances tomorrow?
It's looking like a toss-up.
And that was a sentiment we got from a lot of voters as well as Massie, that this is a tight race, it's a jump ball, even though voters credit the times he has opposed President Trump, even if they support President Trump generally.
All right, Aaron Navarro, as voters go in and leave with that sticker saying, "I voted," we thank you so much for your coverage today. And tonight, a reminder for you at home, Major Garrett leads our special election coverage. That starts at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on CBS News 24/7.